Hi viewers, welcome back. It's me again. We're in the what effectively is a cooler house now. This is what I kept at intermediate, but I don't anymore. This now is purely for Sarcochilus, the Dendrobium maniliforms, and there's a few different ones that are still out here that are growing down as low as 10 degrees currently. So it doesn't go above 10 degrees out here now. Everything that needs warmer is down the bottom, as you saw the other day if you've watched the previous video. Biggest surprise of the week out here is that I've got Sarcochilus with flower spikes on, and we found the first flower spike on the 28th of December. I've never before had flower spikes on the 28th of December. They've the earliest they've been is mid-January, and several people from the Orchid Society that grow them, theirs don't start until later than that. So, but these are, I suppose I've always kept a bit warmer, where they've been up to about 12, 13 degrees. But a lot of it is down as well to the mild weather that we keep having. We're on a cold day today, and I think the number of times that's happened recently could be counted on one hand, because nothing is right. We've had some hideous rain, flooding around and about nearer to us that isn't normally there, which is a bit of a worry. We're usually quite lucky where we are down on the south coast. But nothing like up country have had, and down in the west country have had it worse. We're still much better off than some, but the rain that we've had has just been phenomenal. The water table in our garden is at its highest, which is great fun when you've got two dogs, which is just crazy. But there you go. That's life. We put up with what it throws at us, basically. But let's get back to orchids. Now, again, there were problems last summer with what happened with my son, and basically out here it was set to auto, and the fogger was set to kick itself on and off. It always is set to kick itself on and off, but I upped it because of the hot weather to keep it humid out here. Well, that was the biggest mistake I've ever made, because what I effectively did was lose most of my Nephraunia flowers, because I forgot. The flower spikes came, but not many successful flowerings because the flowers aborted. And it took me a while to realise that the reason they were aborting is because Nephraunia don't like fake humidity. They'll put up with the fans and the air movement, fake, but they won't put up with the fake humidity. It's not a natural humidity, and they don't like it. They'd have been better off on the drier side, and I just didn't enter my head. It was just a question of, right, you've got to get on with this, guys. I'll come and see you when I can and water you. So that was the result of that. And yeah, here we go. We wait for another year. But what I have done is changed a lot of them now. I can't even remember I did it. It wasn't 2023. These come in 2022. Yeah, they did. So a lot of these were put in these pots, and all they're in now is pumice and bark. And all of these that I grow like this, including Masdevallias and the Sarks, if I haven't got pots with holes in the side, I'm making them with hot holes on the side, because I am so heavy-handed with watering. It's just an easier way of me to keep control and to watch how dry things are, rather than, oh, it must be time to water you, which clearly it wasn't. And I've done the same with the Sarks, because of my own Sarcochilus before the new ones came. last June, I had so many dead roots in pots when I was repotting. Not many flowers last year, and not much care taken with them either. And what I've done now is the same with them. And that is now dry. But they're due to be watered and fed tomorrow because obviously they need keeping up together. Now I've put yellow labels in the ones that have got flower spikes. There. There's the first one I found. There's one. Because if you look there, there's a flower spike. Could be another one coming the other side, don't know yet, but there's one. There it is behind it. Clear as day. 3 flower spikes. So these are obviously quite happy out here, and they're not allowed to be overwatered. So I let them. He's drier at the bottom, but you can see there we've got, out of the way label, we've got new roots coming, we've got lots of growth going on. So the feed will be, it's only a low feed at the moment to keep them ticking over, but it will be increased, especially now that spikes are coming. What's also encroached its way in here is the old Masdevallia. I lost a few of those as well, and these are ones that I rescued from cold greenhouse and have repotted. That big one there, in actual fact, is one that it's Masdevallia regina. I've had that plant for, it's got to be 8 years, and it hates me because it doesn't like flowering for me. And I tried everything, growing it a bit warmer because it likes to be warm apparently, and in the end I got, because of what last year, what I did with a load of Masdevallias that weren't doing anything and were struggling, and I suspect it was because I was keeping them too wet. I put them underneath a lower shelf. Get on with it. I'm not even looking at you anymore because I'm going to throw you out if you don't do anything soon. And yes, I used to bring it out now and again and water it, but didn't look at it properly. Wasn't interested in it and just left it. And then when things started to return to normal before the dog did what he did, I got it out and thought, I really ought to check you because I didn't repot you. And I saw lots of new leaves coming. And I thought, wow, neglecting you has obviously done you good because you were kept drier. Weren't kept warmer particularly, but it was drier, but it was warmer in the summer, obviously. So what I've done, and I'm not going to take it out of there because it's double potted in a black pot. It's in one of these pots with the pre-made holes that we were able to get hold of from Peter White, and it's in a mix of, let me see if we can go in and you can see down there. Yeah, you can. It's in the mix of medium bark and chopped up sphagnum, and the roots are growing like crazy. And then I looked at it, and I hadn't looked at it for a while. I looked and I thought, hang on a minute, it was growing across. If you look down there, you'll see that it's coming, the flower spike is coming from back there, and it grew flat along there, and it wasn't until it got to here, so I thought, that thing's trying to flower. Well, now it's trying to flower. Looky here, we'll go up. Yeah, and we're up there. So it's a good 12-inch long, that flower spike, but I'm expecting it to get closer to the end of here. So it's been treated with kid gloves. But what I've also done, because I had Masdevallia regina and Masdevallia princeps. I could always grow princeps. In the 8 years I've had this, I've maybe flowered it once, maybe twice maximum. Whereas princeps I always used to get regularly flowered, but like a good many more things, if you repot them, sometimes they don't always flower straight away, and then we ended up with a few years, well hang on a minute, princeps is going backwards, and anyway I lost one, and every time I got hold of one I couldn't get it to grow, it just went backwards. So my friend Alan, he separated his. He can grow both of these like weeds, and in August he let me have this division, part of one of the divisions, and if you look in there, which is not going to pick up, hold on, let's do it another way, let's put it down and let's get it dry actually. It's already showing signs of a new growth. I'm not touching it until, and you can see the roots down in there. So it wants a bit of water tomorrow. But it's not objecting to being kept cooler here, so hopefully I'll get him to flower as well in the summer. I'm not putting him anywhere else other than here, but he's on the top shelf, which is why this one's on the top shelf, because that is a coccinea that didn't have any roots. This is a hystrix that didn't have many roots, and I've brought it in here and repotted it just in moss to keep an eye on it, so it's kept drier as well and I don't overwater it. I am being religious with this now, so hopefully paying attention will pay off. But there's quite a few. I think there's about, that's another one I think with a flower spike. Yeah, that one's got a flower spike down there. Why are you not playing the game? Come on. You focused on the other one. Doesn't want to play. But that there, flower spike. And I think there isn't one in there, so there's only going to be one flower spike on there, but that is one of the ones that came last year. There. Normally it focuses better than this. Doesn't want to play today. But there's definitely a flower spike on that one. And we saw that one. What else did we see? That's not, that is. Flower spike on that one. Over there. Astrid, that was a big one, wasn't it? With a flower spike. Yeah. There you go. Look, focus on that one straight away because it's got all that going the other way. I hate technology sometimes, I really hate it. But what I've also got in here amongst the sarks is another Masdevallia that wasn't doing very well next door, to try and recover it in here. And again you can see I've drilled holes in the pots so that my Masdevallias don't sit in water. And these are older ones that have fallen apart, ones that have not done so well but are coming back and growing new growth and roots. So I don't expect these to do. This one And I bought this in 2020 or 2021, I think. And it's never flowered. All it's done is go backwards. So this is the last ditch effort. I don't know why they do that when it works for others, but not much was a fan of what I did to them last summer, so we have to pay the consequences and see. And again, you can see, look, all dry, completely dry. So when I water tomorrow, they will lap it up. But so I don't expect those to flower. What I do expect is these to flower, because they haven't had the insults that those have had. Nor will they, hopefully. But there's a couple of these are the mounted Chirophorums that are flowering. And as you can see, it needs taking off and splitting. Well, not splitting, but putting back into a decent sized clump. And it's a question, this is my first original one, and this has always grown short flower spikes because I think the mounting actually holds them back. But having said that, the mounting of this one hasn't held it back. But again, we've lost the middle, so it needs taking off and doing. But they're definitely doing better, although this one is doing okay. And that's a nice sized flower spike. But it all needs sorting and bringing back to a clump that is manageable together. So there is a bit to do out here. There's more to do in the Mazzy house than out here. But just about all of the hibiscus have lost their flowers, apart from that last one. So I think they can stay in here. The Wagneriana has lost its flowers for sure, apart from one. I tried that in my terrarium. It started dying, so I took it out of the terrarium and brought it back out here and left it where it was cooler. But I'm just waiting to see. I've got a couple of these bits that were bits that didn't have any roots properly, and I've got them in live moss, and they're beginning to grow roots. And this was one with tiny little growths on that weren't any bigger than about 1/4 of an inch, and no roots on the main plant, which is that stem. So again, I've sat it in live moss and it's growing, so I hope to be able to pot that soon as well. Don't expect it to do anything this year, but here's another one that was going backwards, and he is doing much better than the other one. It's got lots of split September 22 and didn't really grow. These were the tiny bits then, but now they are growing, and again, good roots coming down to the pots. So that's what I want to see, is a lot more roots, so that I don't have squishy roots. And that was just down to me over watering. It is tedious having things in 2 pots. I haven't put these double potted because I haven't got enough pots basically, and I want the air to get around these roots as well. The stuff that I have double potted, i.e. that, which I don't want to mess with when I'm only doing one hand because I will break the flower spike. It's an easier way of trapping slugs as well, which we still have problems with, which I think we'll have problems with forever and a day. What one's this one? That's Conera Taser. Oh look, new growth down there. There is a new, tiny new fan growing just in front of my thumb, which I dare say isn't going to focus. Okay, let's do that. Just about see it there, it's still not in focus. And one around the other side, I can see. So even that's looking promising, and he's got live roots again growing. But he was one of the slightly smaller ones that came from Belgium last June. I was so lucky to get these plants. If a friend hadn't helped me, it wouldn't have happened. We went through 12 months of trying to get the rigmarole through with the paperwork. And in the end, somebody else imported them for me and sold them to me. So, on the understanding that I didn't sell them on. So that was the breaks. A couple of Orchid Society members wanted some, and they were happy for them to have them as well, because I was ordering all of them, and we got 70 over all told. So there were other people from other Orchid Societies wanted some, but it wasn't a huge order by any standards. So we won't get them again, so make the most of them. And I'll do my damnedest to keep them going, that's for sure. One thing I have got up there that's been growing in the sidelines, in the background for quite... it's got to be 2 years now. And I got it from Peter White when I bought a couple of his sarcophyllus, which are down here, bigger ones. And it's Speculina endotrachis, I think. Yeah. And it's one of those pleurisalids that, look, the first flower was there, and it's had all those flowers right the way down to there, and it's still got another one coming. Still hasn't finished. And this is what they all do, and they put up just random flower spikes, and unless you break them, they don't die. They get longer and longer. I suppose they stop at some point, but I haven't yet found out when. And that one is the longest of all. So that's in the 2 years since I've had it. With all those flowers. So it's never a permanent array of flowers, but they are beautiful flowers for sure. I love it. I'd love it even more if it focused. There you go. But I love that one. That's another, what's that one? That's a Poroglossum. He does nice flowers. Moscosum. And this is how they come up, with flowers on the end. I just love the fairy bits, and they catch bugs as well. That's a Pleurosalus rolii, which tends to be ignored now and again. That is Epidendrum porpax, and that is an Alba version. Alan, my friend, gave me this, and it was growing on a mount and growing round the mount, under the mount, anywhere but on the mount. So I've taken it off. Had a bit of a battering this year. I've taken it off and skewered it into place in a shallow pot, which is used for what are they called? Cacti and succulents. And skewered it in place with a wooden skewer coming out of the side here where my thumb is, and then put it on there, and in the hope, and you can see we're getting new growth. So the plan is that once this grows out, the growth really kicks in for this year, this place, the whole of the top will green over again. And you can see there's already new stuff coming. It's just been flowering again, so it's quite happy. But here's new growth there, and down there, and there. So I'm hoping it will come and fill these holes in, and we can persuade it. Should be doable. Dead flowers now, but that just hangs up there, out of the way. And I think that's about it. Oh, Dendrobiums that didn't do well. Oh, yawn. That we are recovering. You can see all the new growth coming up on that. They suffered last year as well. Some I've lost and thrown them away. Some are coming back. There's a moniliform in flower, which should be resting. That'll tell you how mild it's been. So that's all a bit mad, but I think we've saved all of the Dendrobiums apart from possibly this one. But having said that, there is a couple of new bits coming. I'm not making a decision on that yet, but it could be thrown away. This one's recovering and doing okay. These are okay. That's now okay. That's recovered beautifully. That's okay. Oh, and there's a tiny little one that went backwards in there, and I saved the good part of it. And another one that's recovered. That one is recovering, and hopefully will do better once I repot it in the spring. And this one, I think, yeah, I think this one is the one. Yes, this one is the one. Oh, who invited you in? Not me, for sure. This was the one. What does it say? Poor root, August 2029, yellow with pink centre. No, 8th of August 19. Repotted again October 19. And changed it last year. And that even there. This whole new growth as well. Reached up there, so he's doing alright. But the maniliforms are bone dry. I bought some extra of those in June last year when I went to Malvern. Before the world tilted off for me. I adore. I just love the variegation on it. There's some nice variegation. This one has been repotted. He's gorgeous. I've had this one for a couple of years. I bought it June 22, the year before at Malvern. So all is not lost, thankfully. But I'm going to go indoors now as it's time for coffee. It's a bit chilly out here as well. Here's another one we've got in flower. That is rather nice, Cuthbertsonii. Crossed with one I got from again, it's the one I got from Spisotic. Cuthbertsonii crossed with Mollianum, and of course I bought it because it had Mollianum in it to see what it would come out like. It's now got a new name. It has been registered since it was sold, so it's Papuatu, but there's not a hint of Mollianum in that flower. It's all Cuthbertsonii, which is nice because it's a nice colour. I like it. So I was hoping for a bit more of the generous pinks, but you can't have everything, can you? So, you know, where is the one? It wasn't you. I'm pretty sure it wasn't you, because you were the one that had poor roots. And there is one pot somewhere with a load of kikis of Dendrobium in. Repotted October 23. I don't know. I really don't know which one it is. That's right. It's a registered hybrid. No, I don't know. What's this one? No, that's a hybrid. So this is an orange and red. And it flowered so much in summer 2023. It recovered perfectly and was covered in flowers because it got an award at Morgan. So, oh, that was it there. There you are. So he's going to look good this year, I think, as well. It was somewhere. But, yes, it's all looking good out here. It's a bit chilly. But I'm getting back to where I was. I'm catching up on things. The repotting is going to have to be dealt with on a regimental timetable this year. That's a twinkle that's coming out over there. One of the twinkles I didn't move, and it's tiny. I think it's gold dust. It's this tiny one. I thought it was going, yeah. Oncidium tiny twinkle gold dust. It's a tiny one. It's one of my favourite twinks, and that's still in the cold house, in the warm, cool house. So, as he's growing quite happily there, I shall leave him there. Whereas the others, I've put them, that's better, in the warmer end. But we have new growth. This hasn't been rested because I've been trying to get these new growths to grow, and he won't be rested, so I'm not so sure we'll have a good flowering. Those didn't reach the required size last year because of my neglect, but they're alive, so one should be thankful for small mercies. And there's another Dendrobium Porpax that I stuck on a... He had too much sun last year. So there's still a fair selection out here, just not as much. And there's a fair bit over there that wants taking out of moss and putting in bark. Bark means I have more of a workload because I have to water more, but if it means I save the roots, then so be it. Because then I can actually see the roots, if I can see the roots. Although if I put them in these pots with these holes, I can see the roots. So, but they're growing well in the bark and they look good. So I think most of them, of the others, will be swapped over next year, this year even. And that's a repot I did not so long ago because it was getting top heavy in moss, and his roots are right down at the bottom, but they're hardly getting any water as well. They don't need it, so they're not getting it. It's the sum of the workload in here increases tenfold, but so be it, my choice. So I will deal with it at the time. But I'm going to leave you now because I'm going to go indoors and have my coffee and just might indulge, because somebody has to eat it, in one of the last pieces of Christmas cake. It's just as well it's nearly all gone. But Oncidium Chiriphorum is, I think, my all-time favourite Oncidium. I love the twinkles. I love Sotoanum, but I love this more. And I'm not a fan of Oncidiums, but I am a fan of this beauty. And then I'll keep you posted on the sarks as well, and we'll see what happens with those. So I hope you had a good start to the new year. Hope you haven't been anywhere where it's been flooded. It's not been good here, but we haven't got flooding. My daughter, who lives an hour and a half away, and the place we go to every summer for a family picnic on the Pangbourne Meadow on the edge of the River Thames, there is no meadow currently. The water from the Thames is coming up as far as the boundary where the houses are, and that's quite some way. It's all underwater up there, which is a bit scary, and the people up north further have had a dreadful time in Nottingham and Gloucester and Worcester, so my heart goes out to them. I'm just so grateful that we don't get it here, and hope that we never do, not in my lifetime anyway. And I'm going to remember to turn the fan back on before I go. Hopefully those two spikes should be open soon as well, because I have to keep lowering them so that they don't touch the roof. But I'll catch you on the next one. I'll be in the cool greenhouse next, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.